Welcome to our phenomenal agents and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and this is All the Leads Mastermind Podcast number 542. And speaking of phenomenal, we have some phenomenal guests for you today. And before we get to them, I'll turn it over to my phenomenal partner, Tim. Tim, what you got?
Everything's phenomenal today, Jim. Thanks for asking.
It is good.
So yeah, we're going to take the first part of our meeting today, and we're going to talk a good bit about direct mail and websites and how to get that part of your marketing together and what we're going to do to be helping you do that. We've got some cool stuff to talk to you about, and two of our marketing implementation strategists are going to be on the call, but I'm going to let Alyssa introduce. She's been working with them to kind of get this presentation ready to rock and roll. And Alyssa, with that, I'm going to throw it over to you. The thing I would say before we start is at the bottom of your screen, there's a heart, and that little heart is where you would raise your hand. If you click on the heart, you'll see that it will pop up, and it will, at least on mine, maybe different on yours, it says raise hand. If you do that, your hand will go up just like mine does, and we'll know that you'd like to be heard and talked to. Feel free to do that whenever we're rocking and rolling along, and at the appropriate time, we'll call on you, and we'll know that you're ready to talk. If it's about one of the slides you're seeing, raise your hand, and we'll try to get to it right along time of putting that slide up. But that's how you do that. And with that, Alyssa, it's up to you.
Yes. So today we are going to be talking about direct mail and websites and how you can put those together in tandem to add motivated sellers to your pipeline in a nice, efficient, and cost-effective way. And in order to do that, we have our marketing implementation strategists on today. That's Jessica and Nick. Those are the two faces that you see when you join All the Leads. You get assigned to one of our lovely MISs who are the ones who will onboard you. They help you set up all of your campaigns. They're the strategists behind making sure that you are putting your marketing in place so that your leads aren't just sitting there collecting dust, that they're actually out there making you money. So Jessica and Nick are going to lead us through information about direct mail and websites and how you can make them work together to be successful. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up our slideshow, and then Jessica will take it away from there.
I'm doing the side effects.
Nick, I think you were, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll take it away. I'm Nick Allen. I'm one of the marketing strategists here at All the Leads. And of course, today, as you guys already know, we will be discussing marketing. Now, if we could just go to the next slide, we could hop right into it. All right, so direct mail, it isn't dead. It's actually a proven, profitable, and it is still growing way to grow your business. Now, the highest performing channel in your marketing mix isn't digital. It's actually in your customers' mailboxes. So 61% of marketers increased their budgets with direct mail marketing in the last year, 161% ROI increase, which makes it the highest return amongst all individual media types. Now, direct mail has a 91% open rate. A promotional mail gets opened or read by recipients, which is insane. If anybody doesn't have anything to add, we go on to the next slide. Awesome. So the way that I like to explain direct mail is more so like a funnel. So from mailbox to website, the conversion journey. Direct mail doesn't just get attention. It moves people to act online, creating a powerful bridge between physical and digital experiences. Initially, it gives the customer or lead a physical touch point. Direct mail is something that's tangible, it's personable, and it's something that's breaking through the digital clutter. Now, when a customer gets a direct mail piece, 53% perform an online search after receiving that direct mail piece. 57% visits the brand's websites directly from the mail prompts, and pairing direct mail with digital lifts response rates by 118%. I'm going to the next slide. So the reason why mail and websites work so well together is that, again, mail is something that's tangible. It's something that the customers can touch and feel, and it's a great way to initiate the relationship, while the website serves as a credibility anchor. Your customers have 24/7 access to it. It answers additional questions that your leads may have, and it also validates your expertise. Now, reputation builds familiarity and trust. So when you're taking an approach that's digital and also physical, it positions you as an expert and an obvious choice. All right, so every seller that you're going to be dealing with is different, whether it's a probate seller or a divorce seller or also a late mortgage seller. So you want to handle your approach differently depending on your lead type. But one thing that's in common across the board with all these sellers is that you do need to be consistent with your approach. Some sellers may be ready in month 1, while other sellers may be ready in month 4, month 6, but you do need to stay consistent to stay in front of your leads. Now, the keys to an effective niche mail campaign starts with a high quality list. And of course, that's something that we can provide you guys here at All the Leads. Also, when you're messaging your leads, whether it's a direct mail piece, whether it's door knocking, whether it's cold calling, there's not a one size fits all. So you do want to make sure that your messaging is specific to the lead that you're dealing with. And also, again, you do want to be consistent with your outreach as you're doing mailing. That's something that we could assist with as well. We can set up mailing campaigns on autopilot. That way, we're making sure you're staying consistent and staying in front of your leads. All right, now your 24/7 credibility hub, which is your credibility website, builds trust because it's providing niche content to the problems that your leads are dealing with. So it's able to provide educational content, answer common questions that your leads may have, and also you can add testimonials that provide social proof to your leads. Every mailer should direct leads to your website. Again, you want to look at it as more so a funnel, and your website is the natural next step after receiving your mailer. So it's a seamless path from physical awareness to digital engagement. All right, so 5 direct to digital connection methods. I'm going to go over the first 3 here. They're all really powerful, but again, the more that you can track, the easier it is that you can show ROI from your marketing and also make adjustments to any marketing campaigns that you have. The first one being QR codes. You're able to drive instant scans to specific landing pages and also use dynamic codes to update destinations. Also, providing unique phone numbers for tracking purposes. You're able to assign trackable numbers to each marketing campaign and also capture call analytics and lead sources. Dedicated landing pages. So tailoring each message to match mail after include a clear call to action and also a short lead form. Tim, I see you raise your hand.
Yeah, I just want to point out as you're at this, some of these things that you're talking about may well be alien to them because there's some acronyms in here and all of this. And the point behind this is that we know what all these things are. They're built in to the programs that we're offering. So while it's important that eventually you'll understand all of these, don't get thrown off by the acronyms that you don't understand. Certainly talk with your strategist about that, and we can explain what they mean and all of that. But the beauty of this is we're talking about how to truly remarkably well customize that response that's built in. And that's what all this is for, is to literally customize exactly what they're doing next once they get that mailing piece. Okay, go ahead, bud.
All right, we're going to the next slide. All right, so the way that I like to look at this wheel here is essentially a well-oiled machine. You want to keep every piece working together. So your niche website is the 24/7 lead capture. It's going to provide credibility to the sellers that you're working with and also add value and knowledge by additional questions that your leads may have. Having a CRM system is crucial just because you want to make sure you're staying on top of every lead, you're tracking every interaction, and also setting up follow-up reminders is going to be very important as well, making sure you're calling leads back. and also answering any additional questions that they may have. And also your autopilot mailing campaign, that's also essential as well. You want to make sure you're being consistent with your outreach, and mailing is a great way to stay in front of those leads. Joe, I see you raise your hand.
On here, let me take off my mute. Okay. So my question is, you mentioned the landing page. Is that separate from the website that you pay for?
No, Joe,
Yes.
you can land the traffic. That's kind of the point that I was making earlier. You can, with the direct mail piece, let's say, for example, you have a page that you've written having to do with finance issues in regard to probate, if that's something you'd want to write about, and you had a page on your site for that. Instead of just going directly to your main website, you could, for example, get a QR code that would point to a specific page on your site. And that's the whole point. You can drive traffic directly and specifically to exactly where you want them to go using the tools that Nick was talking about before. But it's all on your website.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and the reason I ask that, because sometimes, by definition, sometimes a landing page it's something separate where it goes out there just to grab information, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, if you wanted to build a landing page within your site, we can certainly help you do that, but it's all part of your website. So
Okay.
you don't have 16 different places to try and manage stuff. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet, bud.
Awesome. We go to the next slide. All right, so the last thing I want to cover here before I pass it over to Tim is that as you're doing letters, it doesn't just have to be a letter. You can also create a mailing experience. So what's really effective is adding inserts to your letters just to help you stand out. And that could be anything from adding a pin or something like a sticky note that the homeowners may want to hold on to. It might be a local market report. It might be something like a branded flyer or a brochure. Basically, something that's going to help you stand out from just sending out a letter. It's very, very effective in your marketing campaigns if it's something that you implement. All right, now I'm going to pass it over to Tim.
Yeah, just leave that slide up for a second, Lisa. Back up for 1 second. And be aware that all of the things that Nick talked about are things that we do today for our customers. We're constantly adding, we call them lumpy mail, something that gets somebody to pick up the envelope and go, oh, there's something in here, not just a piece of paper. I need to see what it is. And that's the whole point of adding some volume to what you're putting out there. They're considered to be high value pieces. They don't add a lot to your cost, but they add a whole lot to openability and reasons for doing that. Jimmy, what were you going to say, bud?
Yeah, just something that really jumped out at me because I don't see this end of our business very often. Way back in the day when I started selling real estate, that's all we did was mail. And then we sort of made the switch to picking up the phone more. But I hear a lot of people say, oh, I've got I only get maybe a 2 or a 3% response rate on my mail. I never realized that 53%, more than half the people that get your mail are going to your website. Mm-hmm. So your mail might not be getting credit for the response, but that's indirectly how you're getting there. So I never realized it was that high. In the old days, you sent somebody a letter, they picked up the phone and called you. That probably doesn't happen as much anymore, but that's not the goal. The goal is to have the conversation with them. And if the mail drives them to the website and that piques their interest, and then they pick up the phone and call you, you may never know it came from your mail. But to me, that was just a startling statistic. I had no idea that more than half the people that get a letter actually will at least go online and check you out. That's amazing.
Yep. Joe, what were you going to say, bud? Got to unmute, buddy. You're muted.
Have you found it where the postcards or the mailings, like in the envelope, which one works better? Or is it all part of the campaign?
Yeah, it's not a one or the other, unfortunately. It just simply depends on content, depends on what you're doing, and sometimes it depends on the sequence in which you did it. In other words, you may put out a full letter to start with, and then you may follow up with a postcard. And Bruce talks about mix and match a lot in terms of what he recommends. I'll let Bruce, when we get done, we'll talk a bit more about this, but Bruce frequently talks about making sure that you shake it up. Remember that they've never seen anything that you're putting out there. So oftentimes we think, well, I've got to worry about my sequence and what they might think and all that. Well, they're not going to think anything. The people that you just got as a lead this month, they don't necessarily know you from anybody. So send a postcard out, send a letter out, mix and match, deliver different messages. Sometimes you want to capitalize on something that happened in your local market with a postcard, or happened in an area with a postcard that's very topical, whereas your letter may deliver more information because you got more space to offer that. It's all a matter of frequency and timing and everything else. But again, that's what Nick and Jessica and our MIS team are there to do. They'll ask you some questions about kind of what's going on in your market and all that. And that's why they're strategists. They'll help you build a strategy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, bud. Great questions. Great questions. Okay, Lisa, you can go on now. So this is just a real quick shot in the middle, and I'm going to hand it to Jessica. But the thing that we often, hear from people is, well, I want to scrub my leads and I only want to mail them to the ones that, either I know have property that I want or whatever. The one thing that I would encourage you to do, and I will admit that it sounds a bit self-serving because we're in the business of doing mail for you, but the reality is you should at least make sure that everybody gets something from you that they can hold in their hand. Get something that they can refer back to, something that will drive traffic to your website. If you don't have a website, you need to get one, and we'll talk about that coming up as well. But don't let scrubbing go back and cost you opportunity. There are things that we do good research to try to determine if there are properties available in a probate lead, if they actually own property. That's not always correct. Skip tracing not a 100% solution. So put something out there and get it done. The only other thing that you may want to realize, and it's the bottom of this, you may only want to send mail out to people that you are not able to reach on the phone because they're on DNC, and all their phone numbers are on the DNC list. You don't want to call them. Then for sure you better mail them, because that's the only way you're going to get in touch with them, other than possibly hiring a skywriter to fly over their house. So that's a particular time that it becomes extremely important to do that. And again, your MIS can help you figure all that out and make that work for you. Bill, what were you going to say, bud? Unmute yourself. There you go.
I was going to say that there's been many a times when I've just mailed to everybody and you didn't think they owned real estate, but they did. It was either in a trust, a corporation, some creative tax entity. So I don't think you're wasting your time. Just mail it to everybody. I mean, at the very least, you're going to get some name recognition out of it.
Absolutely. And it's brand building. I mean, it's all about what you're doing, and realize that while you may be working with people, and this is why we refer to probate as a pillar, you're working with people and you're trying to work with them specifically around the probate event in their lives. Realize that those are all people that may be moving anyway. The PR themselves may be moving. They may be looking for a new house and have no bearing on this probate at all. They might be moving someplace. You have the opportunity to build relationships with people. And the better that you do that, the better branding that you do yourself and represent yourself, that's where you get business from. It may not be about a particular house that's going to come out of the probate itself. It could be anything that comes out of the opportunity. So, we talk about all the opportunities, lead by lead, whether you look at it as a probate opportunity, divorce, a late mortgage, branding, transitions. It's all the same thing. You've got to get your name out there. And I'll refer back to Gary Keller at Keller Williams. He had a program that he put together a while back, or a reference that he put out called 33 Touch. And he, for a long time, advocated, and still does, that you should touch every customer you have a minimum of 33 times. And, the more you touch them, the more frequently that they're going to remember you at the right time when it becomes necessary to seek out either a realtor or somebody to purchase property. So the more frequently you can get there, the better off you're going to be, like Bill said. I think that's it, Alyssa. With that, I'm going to hand it back to Jessica and let Jessica tell you about her side of this presentation. Go get them, Jess.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm Jessica. I'm one of the other marketing strategists here. I've had the pleasure of working with the company for almost 5 years. So with mailing campaigns, with marketing in general, you don't want to just stick to one marketing style. You don't want to just stick to mail or just stick to phone calls. It all works together. Like we just spoke about, when you're sending out mail, you want to have the website on there so they can be redirected, increase that traffic so they can learn even more about you. So when we talk about consistency, I think it's on the next slide, Alyssa. When we talk about consistency, it's consistency with variety. So consistency, meaning when it comes to mailing campaigns, I usually recommend with my clients no less than 3 mailings. But with those mailings, mix it up a little bit. You don't want it to be the same style every month or every time you mail. And we'll talk about it in just a few moments. But before we get to that slide, that means switching up the style of envelopes, switching up the letters, incorporating inserts like we formerly talked about in with those letters, so that has a little bit more of a bulky feel, so they feel like they're getting something as well, but something they can put on their fridge, something that they can keep a hold of with your information. Consistency also means following up with them via phone call. So when they are receiving your letter and they set it to the side and then they get your phone call a few days later, they have something to recognize with. Again, you want to be memorable. You want to be that agent or that agent investor that they recognize that is consistently reaching out to them. Because in your area, it may be possible that there are other agents also reaching out to probate or divorce leads or those type of niches, but you want to be the one that they remember. And with that takes consistency. So next slide, please. Awesome. So when I was talking about variety and the different types of mailings, this is where me and Nick, the other marketing strategist that works for us, we really have the experience of being able to work with you and works best for your market area. So there are some market areas that are busier, like Los Angeles, we have New York, New Jersey, and then we have more rural areas. So you as the agent or investor are going to know what type of marketing really responds well in your area. And that's where me and Nick come into play to kind of walk with you through those different types of marketing. Because I talk with so many clients, we have so many different marketing options available. We also have ways that we can really add variety to your campaigns, and that includes the different style of envelopes. The first thing that those leads are looking at when they open up their mailbox. The type of envelopes that we see here on the screen, those are our 6x9. We call them our greeting card style envelopes. It looks very much like a Hallmark greeting card. It looks very personalized. We have different fonts available. So being a subscriber, you have access to our CRM. And within our CRM, we have given you so many customizable options as well. And one of those customizable options is the different font styles that you can select for the envelopes. You can even use different fonts each mailing. Again, just adding that variety, not making it seem like it's the same mailing every month or every week or how often you're mailing. We also have different colors that you can incorporate. So one month, use a blue envelope. Next mailing, use a green envelope. So definitely switch up those styles, really increasing that curiosity, which will also increase the open rate as well. The other style of envelope that we see on the next slide is our business envelope, our standard professional looking envelope. These I see very often in probate campaigns because, again, they have that very professional style. Usually with these envelopes, I also recommend more of a block style font, and we can also include the probate docket number on these envelopes. So really giving it a very professional appearance. Me, if I was a personal representative and I received this style of envelope and it had the probate docket number on there, for me, it would indicate like a sense of urgency, something that I need to open because it pertains to my current situation. I also get asked very often on my marketing calls with my clients, should you use a return address? Should you not use a return address? And I say both, and provided they both have pros. If you use the return address, it gives you transparency. It automatically indicates and it shows that lead why you're reaching out to them and who you are. So again, opening up that envelope with the information that you've provided to them, whether it's a letter, a flyer, a letter with your business card, again, transparency. Not using a return address also indicates a little bit more curiosity. That curiosity can also boost your open rate as well. So both using your return address and also not using your return address adds that variety to the consistency of your mailings. Okay, next slide. So testing your envelope strategy. Again, you're going to know your market area. So what I generally recommend is when we discuss on our marketing calls, the type of mailings that we can design for you, that we can customize for you, but testing it out. So if you're using a letter and then you would like to use a postcard and then using a different envelope style for your third mailing, you will see which ones are going to wind up getting the most traction with. And then with that, we can always customize your mailing campaign even further. You don't have to stick with it, the same style. If it's not working for you, contact your strategist. That's what we're here for. We're here to really strategize and help you through and get a successful campaign and really kind of test which mail piece is going to, or not necessarily just one mail piece, but which mail pieces are really drawing the most attention. So if it's postcards, let's use more postcards. If it's letters, let's use more letters. So on the screen, you can see the different envelope styles. Again, we provide so many different kinds. The addressing method using your address, your return address, and also using envelopes without the return address. And of course, indicating the lead type. So the lead type, if it's probate, using the probate docket number on there. So again, envelope strategy, mailing strategy, how often should you mail is another question that I get asked, and the sequence. So I commonly, the most average sequence that I see with mailings is about every 30 days. But I also always, usually within the first couple of months, I say expedite it a little bit more, really get your information out there, and then you can kind of space it out a little bit more in between. But remember, with those mailings, consistently following up with those leads through phone calls. And as Tim kind of mentioned earlier, definitely wanting to hold off on the scrubbing, but you are going to wind up scrubbing as that mailing campaign continues because you may get leads that don't have property or don't have a need to sell. But I definitely recommend mailing, seeing the responses that you get, increasing that amount of traction that you're going to get from the mailings, because you don't want to leave out anyone from your mailing campaigns that definitely have potential. All right, next slide. Awesome. So you're going to see here that there are some different examples, but we have so many more marketing pieces that we can design for you. So we have a full marketing catalog. I'm really passionate about it because we definitely have taken the time to really format our marketing pieces for you. We've put in the experience, we've put in the research to know what really works when it pertains to the specific lead type that you are subscribed for. So we've really taken a lot of the guesswork out for you. So that way we can really help strategize and put those pieces together very easily, very liquid for you. So again, we have letters, probate, we have over 40 letters to choose from. We have brochures, we have postcards, we have business cards that you can insert. But remember that the marketing catalog isn't just for mailing. I have a lot of clients that utilize our marketing pieces for local networking as well. So if you have a great attorney relationship, whether it's an estate attorney or a, for instance, like a divorce family law attorney, leave some of your brochures with them so that they can refer their clients to you as well. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing to remember is that, Jess pointed out, we've got over 40 templates to use. They're templates, and that doesn't mean that you're stuck with the words that we give you. We try to give you a great letter if you don't change anything, but the value of it is that you can customize it to fit your business. There may be things that we potentially talk about, particularly in regard to the people on your team, that you may not yet have somebody like that, so you don't want to include them, or for whatever reason, you want to say it differently. Everything in there can be customized. It's guides. You kind of look at them as a guide. It's like the same thing we talk about in regard to scripts. Make it your own. You don't want it to be exactly what we said. You want it to be exactly what you want it to say. And again, both Jessica and Nick and any of our people are here to help you customize these letters to meet your needs in your market.
Exactly. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Yes, just like Tim said, they are customizable. So we've already pre-formatted them for you, again, to take a lot of that guesswork out of what to write, but definitely read through them, see what you would like to tweak a little bit. And that's what me and Nick are here for as well. And the same thing with our marketing catalog items. So definitely a lot of great pieces that you can utilize for probate, divorce leads, late mortgage leads. And that's what we, as your marketing strategists, are here to discuss with you. So whether it's your first onboarding call with us, whether it's just a marketing follow-up call, definitely utilize our experience in this niche or in this marketing realm to really help format and put together a great campaign and utilizing the best marketing for your market area. Next slide. Yep, just kind of, oh, yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. Next one. Awesome. So again, just to kind of end this, as far as your full complete marketing system, it all ties in together. So you've got your targeted leads, the niche that you're working or niches that you're working. You've got your autopilot direct mail. Nick had mentioned this during his spiel as well, that we can autopilot your campaign. So it takes, again, a lot of the guesswork of when your leads are delivered, when should you set up the campaign. You don't have to worry about it. As soon as we get that campaign set up, we can automate it. So it's a set it and forget it type program, and you know that your mailings are consistently running to your leads. The credibility website, again, super, super important, because when you're targeting a specific niche, you want to make sure that you have a website that is geared around the terminology in that niche. So for instance, our probate credibility website offers so much great information when it comes to probate specific terminology, definitions. It shows that you're focused in those specific niches as well. So if you have just a real estate website, it's great, but it's not going to be geared towards the specific niche that you're working in. You want to show people that you're specialized in the area that they're going through their unique situation, whether it's divorce, again, late mortgage, through probate. They want to go to a website that actually has information pertaining to that. So that's why, again, really, really important to have a specific niche website, which we offer. So definitely contact myself or Nick and learn a little bit more about how we can design those and really customize those for you as well. And then the integrated CRM, so perfect. You can work your leads directly through the CRM. You can manage your leads. You can build out pipelines. You can manage your mailings and your marketing. Everything's encompassed into your CRM. So all of it tied together, really consistent. Yeah. Did you want me to, Alyssa, or did you want to? Sorry.
Well, where'd it go? There it is.
That's okay. We've got some great promotions. Alyssa.
Sorry, my mouse died.
Okay.
No,
go right ahead.
But yeah, you can go ahead, Jess.
No, that's okay. So we've definitely got some great promotions. Again, just kind of ending it on this with the websites and the marketing. We really want to, have our clients take full value and, the fact that we can put all this together for you. So we've got 2 different types of marketing options for you and promos for you, meaning free website with an AP campaign, and then AP meaning acronym for autopilot. And then we have our marketing kickstart bundle. So both great promotions where we can set up a website for you for 0 setup cost, amazing, with a 3-touch autopilot campaign, meaning 3 mail pieces on an autopilot, and professional website set up for free, so that we'll design it for you. The marketing kickstart bundle is a total value. We give you the credibility website, the custom postcard, and a $50 mail credit. So whichever one you think you're going to fall into, definitely swipe those up because they're not going to last forever.
Right. And I think the key to remember here is that we're doing everything we can to try to get you to do what we know works. We didn't build the print division of our company because we just wanted to go. We had woke up one morning and said, "Oh, we want to be a printer." That's not why we did it. We did it because we realized when we first started the company that we were working really hard to just provide leads, and that was over a decade ago. And what we found is that we'd send leads out, people would get them, and 2 or 3 months later they'd disappear, and they weren't doing anything with them. So we decided to try to give them the ability to at least reach out and contact via mail. That's kind of where we started with this. So we do it because we know we have what works, and we're now encouraging you to do it with programs like this. The thing to remember also is that if you already have a website and you're not doing autopilot, or you already are on autopilot but you don't have a website yet, we'll be happy to work with you and give you an incentive to do that as well. And just talk to Nick or Jessica, and they'll be happy to get you squared away and get that done as well. But if you're not doing direct mail and you don't have a website, you're certainly missing one of the legs on your pillar that you're trying to build. And we definitely want you to make sure you take advantage of that whenever you possibly can. So please take advantage of this program. We're trying to make it as easy as you can and as cost effective because we're in this for the long term. We want to be in it with the long term for you as well. Joe, I see you have your hand up, and Bud, I'll get to you in a second as well. Joe, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm new to ATL, okay, and I had already paid for the website hosting, but as you were describing with these two packages, it includes the website. But what if you already paid for it?
Well, that's what I just said. That was my point. If you
Oh, I'm
already,
sorry.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine, bud. If you already have a website, talk with Jessica or Nick, and we'll work something out to give you some advantage to do this, and we'll work you a program out to do this. This is designed, obviously, if you have one or the other, we're not going to penalize you. You already did what we wanted you to do. We're gonna help you take advantage of some discounts to get you moving on direct mail in that case.
Thank you very much. Much
No problem,
appreciated.
bud. You bet. Thank you. Hey, bud, what's happening?
Well, I first I'll apologize. I just got to my computer and heard the end of what Jessica was talking about, and I heard the part about the CRM, and I totally love that CRM compared to what you guys had 10 years ago, you know. But is there a video that trains me in the fine points and the shortcuts of using that CRM? I just keep discovering stuff.
What a great question, bud. I appreciate that. No, there isn't, but I can tell you that there will be one soon. And we'll do a better job at doing that. That's a really good idea. I think we do have a couple of things like that we have out there, but it is not comprehensive, and we add stuff to it all the time, and we're not doing the best job that we could of making that easy. So not yet, but soon. How about that?
Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty good. I love it, and I love the way that you guys have reacted to my request to build a website again. That turned out real nice. So that's all I've got.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Have
Jess?
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe we don't have a lot of videos. We do have some fast track training videos that show you little snippets on how to navigate the CRM, but contact one of your marketing strategists. We can do a Zoom. We can help walk through it so you have the
Absolutely.
ability to ask questions along the way, which is, I feel like, a really great trainable opportunity as well.
No, that's for sure. And that's the whole point. We're here, we bend over backwards to help everybody, and we'll help you do anything we need to do. And it's an interesting point. I'll just take off on this real quickly. We are constantly needing and being required by the nature of what goes on in our market to darn near reinvent ourselves all the time. We constantly are having to add structures and features and everything else. The market moves so quickly. I look at our company today, and if I'd realized where we were going to be 10 years ago, if I'd looked out the window and said, well, we're going to have all of these things, I might be flipping burgers at McDonald's right now, because we've really spent a lot of time and energy getting this done. And it's a mountain of work to have gotten to the point that we're at. And I think we're the only company in the business that offers a truly comprehensive solution for anything like this, where, we're integrating the print directly with it, and we're providing the website, and it's a comprehensive approach. You're at the best place at the right time. So we appreciate you being here and looking forward to working with you going forward. Other questions? Anybody raise your hand, please? We'd love to hear from you, and hope you'll take advantage of this. And sure, hang on one second. Shadi, is that correct?
Yes, you got it. I'm new to this and just wanted to check on the probate prospecting from a prospecting standpoint. Do we give him a call once we get these leads immediately, like any other, prospecting source?
So here's the answer to your question. It's a yes or it's a no. It depends on what you're comfortable doing and what you can. We recommend getting a letter out there as quickly as you can get it out there. And that's because it gives you the ability to warm that call up a little bit. When you make that first phone call, then you're going to be calling to say, hi, hey, this is Shadi. You may have gotten my mail. It's the one that came in the blue envelope. You probably got it a couple of days ago. Did you get that? Well, whether they did or not, it's irrelevant. You've got a reason to talk to them. So it's a great door opener for you. We certainly encourage you to talk to your customers if you can. That's obviously the objective. It's the objective of your mail. It's the objective of everything that you're doing. You want them to call you. You want them to talk to you. You want to be able to have them take your call if you call them. So that's kind of the whole purpose of it. So it's kind of both of them is the right answer. That make sense? Did I lose you, bud?
Does, thank you. No, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Super. Other questions?
Tim, there's a couple CRM questions in the chat. If you want to take a look at that real quick. I don't know if you saw them.
Sure. Yeah, I had not looked. Hang on one second. I'll go look. If you prefer to use your own CRM, absolutely, yes, you can certainly do that. And it's made so that you can export your leads, and most any CRM will take them in the format that we can output it. We can output it as an Excel file. We can also output it as what's called a CSV file, and that's typically the format that most other systems use to intake that data. If you happen to be a customer of one of the systems that we output to, we certainly will let you know, and we'll help you figure out a way to do that. If you need to export your data, we'll be happy to work with you to get that done. And the question Carmen asked, how much is it a month? Well, you can send me $1,000 a month, or you can just get it for free. It's built in. Every subscriber, it's part of our program. In your portal, the CRM is a built-in feature, has been since day one for us. We include it with everything that we have. It's an exclusive benefit for our subscribers, and it's purpose-built to work around our leads. So the leads go in, they're automatically formatted, and they're there. It's a very simple CRM. We did build a click-to-call into it so that you can click on any phone number and instantly use it to do an outbound dial. It's not a stored dialer, so it's not a multi-line or anything else like that. So very important to realize that it's a free benefit of being a subscriber of ours. Other questions anybody has? If not, we're going to open it to the general questions for the hour, for the last quarter of our hour here. Okay, well, I hope you got something out of this. We hope that you will take advantage of it. I already see that our phone lines are lighting up. A couple of people dropped off and have already kind of reached out to us. So we look forward to hearing from you. We know this is a great opportunity. And Alyssa, at the end, please close by throwing the slide back up on the offers that we have. And we'll leave that up for just a little bit so people can see what they are. I see our coaches have joined us, and they're all here today. Welcome, guys. Everybody's good to see your smiling faces. Any of our coaches want to jump in and talk a little bit about what we're getting at here?
Yes, I was muted. So actually, I'd like to just clarify with, I'm sorry if I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Shadi, is that how you say? Yes. Yep. If there was something a little bit more specific in terms of the phone calls that you wanted to clarify. You had asked if it was important to do phone calls or mailings first, and definitely it's a warm intro to be able to do the letters or a postcard or something first, because it gives you a nice, easy way to segue into the phone calls. And I just wanted to add in there if there was anything more in detail that.
Go ahead,
Like,
Sean. Muted, buddy.
My question specifically was more because I do prospect for expired, FSBOs and all that, and I do hit them as soon as they come available. So I just want to check if the probate is the same thing and it's the same process, being more, time sensitive or, based on that sensitivity of the situation.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I would also just add that you most certainly want to get to them as soon as possible. So,
Awesome. Appreciate that.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, if you have a longer list and you send out the first 50, or even if they haven't gotten it, I would start calling even after you've sent it and you're not sure if it's gotten to them or not. Just hit the phones right away so as to, just be the first one in there.
And Shadi, as a seasoned prospector, one thing I can tell, because I was the same thing. When I had the idea for this company. But one thing you're going to love, unlike FSBOs and expireds, there aren't going to be 100 people calling them. And they're more likely to answer their phone. I mean, we still have people that tell us in some markets that they're the only one making the call. But 10 years ago, that was common. Today, there might be 3, 4, 5 other people calling them, but their phone isn't ringing off the hook. They're not. I know FSBOs and expireds today, man, it's tough to get people to answer the phone. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the answer rate and the response and the reduced competition compared to those other lead sources. But the sooner the better. I mean, some people are going to be ready. Maybe 10, 15% of them are going to be ready immediately. The most common excuse you're going to get is we're not quite ready yet. And like Bruce always says, he loves hearing that, because that means that they are going to be ready eventually. Those are the people you want to nurture and offer to, probate cash, contractors, and, find out what they need help with and be there for them and call them once a week until they are ready. And that's not unlike, I think probably different than FSBOs and expireds. They're all ready to go immediately. But the competition is severe. So, that's a good thing with these. These leads do season very well. So don't give up on them. Even if it's 3, 4, or 5 months down the road, your conversion rate will start picking up, so probably somewhere around the 4 or 5 month, you'll notice how many of them are finally ready to do something. And we have subscribers all the time that tell us they went back and called a year-old list and they got deals from it. Because, the older the leads get, the less competition, the closer they are to being ready to do something. But don't let that stop you from making the calls immediately.
Yep, very good. And one of our YouTube questions came in that, can we recommend a dialer to be used out of the CRM? So it kind of, you sort of need to understand a little bit maybe differently about how your question is actually going to get answered. You would export the data from the system that you have, from your portal, and the portal would create a file for you of this month's leads, which you would then import into a dialer if you chose to do that. We don't recommend specific products out there because we're sort of agnostic about what you use to do that. There are a number of them out there. The one thing I would say, and this is important to remember, if you're doing your mail, and this is also to Jessica and Nick, I think we need to start making sure that we add a little content in at least the letters that talk about, hey, please make sure you look for my phone number. You may not regularly answer your phone because a lot of people don't answer the phone these days. They don't recognize the number, they don't do it. So please make sure that you look for my phone number, because I am going to call you and follow up on this letter. And that way, if your phone number is, 555-121212, then they're going to be looking for that phone number rather than it's just another random number that's out there. And invariably, you're going to get different results if you call that out. And certainly, maybe 95% of the people aren't going to remember it, but it's that one extra thing. And you've got to remember this is a numbers game. I don't mean that, because it's phone number, but it's all going to happen over month after month after month. Maybe you only get 5% of the people that write that number down, but those are 5% that pick up the phone that wouldn't have before. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for, anything that you can to increase the odds that you're going to get people when you talk to them. And that's vital to do that. So maybe guys, consider adding that content to the letters, and maybe let's go back and look at some of our mailing pieces and maybe add that kind of content to it. I think that might be important these days. Hey, Bruce, how you doing, bud?
What's happening?
Not much.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Good. Yeah, I've never thought about I've never thought about saying, hey, I'm going to be calling you from this number. I'm a little skeptical, if I'm being honest. I'd be a little worried that they go, oh, yeah, there's the number. Let's go ahead and block that number right now. I don't know if they would, but
you're a natural born cynic, Bruce.
we might have to test that one a little bit.
People aren't that way. They're naturally good-spirited people. They'll do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got to trust me on this.
Okay. Yeah, I trust you. All right. Good. So, what have we been talking about? So, mail. I want to throw kind of my 2 cents in on mail. and just repeat some of what's already been said, it becomes very important to alternate your packaging and messaging up. If you've sent someone 3 letters that say, "Hey, I'm writing about the real estate that's in this estate. Do you want to sell?" and you're just being completely ignored. A 4th letter that says, "I'm writing about the real estate that's in this estate. That do you want to sell it?" probably isn't the thing. So maybe that 4th letter or that 3rd letter is, "Hey, help with full-blown estate management or probate services." It's leading with value. Or maybe you lead your first letters and offers are about estate administration guidance and resources, and then your 3rd and 4th letter are about real estate. So change your messaging up, especially as your campaign goes along. Change it up. You don't want to just keep doing this, putting the same message in front of the same person that's already ignored that same message multiple times. Change the message a little bit. I've been toying around with putting a message in front of them that says, "I buy cars." Why? Not because I love buying cars, but because I love having conversations with people. And if they call me to sell a car, I might be able to turn that into a conversation about real estate. So just some ideas to put different messages in front of people over time. Someone had asked about postcards versus letters. For me, postcards are pure seasoning. They're there to remind someone that that message that they read in a letter, that I'm still here. If they start to maybe they set it aside and they start to forget me, and 2 weeks later they see a postcard and they go, "Oh yeah, I forgot that letter's in the stack on my desk. I need to look at that again." So normally I don't lead with postcards. I think that the best thing to lead with and to stay consistent with is a letter in an envelope with a postcard that periodically goes out to kind of remind them, "Oh, I almost forgot that guy." Um, and then I'll talk about the phone calls. Absolutely, I want to call as fast as possible. If I have a couple hundred leads, now some of those leads, it might take me a couple of weeks to really get to them. Um, but I'm gonna start calling immediately. Now, is it gonna hurt to put a letter out the door on day 1 and then wait 4 days for that letter to land in their box and then call them? No, that is not going to hurt. It gives you a great excuse to be able to reference when you call. Um, some people call and the letter's in the mail. They know it hasn't arrived yet, and they either say, "Hey, I sent you a letter. Don't know if you had a chance to get it yet," so it's still an excuse, or they just sort of ignore the fact that there's a letter in the mail, and they say, "Hey, basically what I do is I help with kind of probate and estate administration process with some resources. Can I ask?" And I'm ignoring the letter if I know the letter hasn't gotten to them yet. So I do think it's very important to call quickly. Does that mean it has to be day 1? No. It could be day 1 or day 7, but it needs to be pretty soon. It does need to be pretty soon. And don't worry if someone says, "Hey, we just got started. We have no idea which way is up. Haven't talked about the house yet." It's my favorite answer of all time. Haven't talked about the house yet. "Oh yeah, not a problem. I imagine one of you guys is living there and taking care of the place." No, nobody's living there. What do I know? They got a house, it's empty, it's gonna sell. They might not be ready to tell me that yet, but I know. I know. So somebody asked about dialers earlier. There are a couple of dialers that are also click to call. They're not power dialers, but you could get an air call account that you run separately. And I know Tim said we're brand agnostic. I'm going to try to stay brand agnostic. So air call is something that you could get, and it's a little extension on your browser, and it turns every phone number on a website into a clickable link. Ring Central has the same feature. So you're on your All the Leads portal using the CRM, and all the phone numbers there are green, and you just click them and it calls through your computer. So if you don't want to download lists and then upload lists into a separate dialer, get one of those and just click the button and call through your computer micro speakers, and preferably not your computer microphone, because that won't be good. So preferably a mic or a headset.
Right, and just be aware that that's built in to our system. We've made it our system works that way. So our CRM is built to take your leads, and all the phone numbers are click to dial. So it's important that you don't have to go get anything else to use that, unless you're looking to load numbers into a power dialer. If that's the function that you're looking for, not required that you get that done. So it's kind of important to know that. Jimmy, what were you going to say, bud?
Hey, Bruce, question. You were talking in the beginning there about varying what you lead with in the mail and on the phone. I'm just curious. One thing I think that we don't push enough that's so unique is probate cash. Have you ever tried letters that lead with, hey, I have this very unique service? You know, if you're executor of the state, I'm curious, have you ever tried that and what kind of results you got?
No, I never tried that as my first message.
Okay.
Now, it's probably included in that first message. One of the things that I've done is I've had letters that kind of briefly on about a half a page said, I help with everything. And then they might go into, I don't want to bore you with 1,000 details right up front, but if you want details, look at page 2, 3, and 4. And then page 2, 3, and 4 just list off all the little things categorically. So we start with administrative, then we move to personal property, then we move to real estate, then we move to professional connections, then we move to cash advances or finance. Okay, so categorically with some bullet points under each category. That way they can see the headline that this section or this page is about real estate. I don't need to deal with this right now. Let me go to the next headline. So something like that. And I think it's a very valid point to maybe have a message somewhere along the way that is a letter or postcard or something that specifically, do you need to unlock the cash from an inheritance that you're not going to get for a year? Do you want it now? Call me. I like that. I haven't done a message or a letter that's only about that before, but I like the idea.
Katie just texted you could put an insert in there with like $1 or probate cash on it. And I believe we actually have inserts that we've used before for people that we can include for you.
Yeah, Jim, and it's interesting that you brought it up. I wasn't going to actually mention it now, but I just talked earlier in the week with our friends at Probate Cash. About 6 months ago, they sponsored a promotion where we actually did 10,000 inserts for our people, just to give you something else to add to your letter, and they paid for it. And they're going to come back and do that again. So we're going to be putting that program together for folks that are on our autopilot program. We'll be auto inserting a probate cash flyer for you once we get that hooked up. So it'll give you something else you can add to put in there. And Katie, that's a great idea, and we'll be doing that. Jess, I'll get to you in 1 second. Becky had a real interesting idea, and I thought it was an interesting one to think about, is that you could put something in your letter that gives them an incentive to answer your call. What she had said was, you know, maybe offer them a, hey, if you'll take my call, I'll get you a $20 gift card for Starbucks or something like that. Give them an incentive to do it, and maybe find a way. It'd be cool if we could put something together where they could only activate it with a code that we gave them on the call. We need to think about something, Lissa, that we might be able to come up with, that if you take the call and you put the magic number in, you get this cool thing. Give them a reason to take that call. I mean, those kinds of things for sure do work. And that's a very creative potential answer. Jess, what were you going to say?
Yeah, just super quick. I know we talked a lot today about mailings and campaigns and consistency, but one of the words that I want to say is procrastination. Please do not procrastinate. I see sometimes a mistake of my clients fine-tuning and micromanaging their lead list so much that they're trying to get it perfect that they're missing so much potential with their leads. So at the very least, definitely start calling your leads, but utilize my expertise and Nick's expertise. Give us a call. We are your marketing strategists, and let us help you with the marketing and getting that information out there, because you don't want to let your leads stack. You don't want to start getting overwhelmed. So again, that's what we're here for. We're here to help really help elevate your marketing for you. So don't procrastinate.
Cool. Listen, if you'll pop the last slide up again for me, please. I'd appreciate that. We are at the top of the hour, and Jim, I'm going to hand it back to you in a second, but I want to put the last slide up and make a quick point that there you go. So this is available until next week when we start our call. So we're going to give you a week to respond. But again, perfect segue from what Jess said. Don't wait till next week to do this. Get it going and let's get started with it. And if the probate cash thing comes to fruition, we'll simply add it to your program. You don't need to wait on anything to get something like that done. And I'll make a point after I hop off this to quickly get that out of the way and see if I can get that nailed up so we can throw it into this program. But again, this is available to you. Both of these are great opportunities to take advantage of if you do or don't have your website. We're trying to make it easy for you to do that. And we definitely want you to get moving with getting this done and do it correctly and use the QR code, drive traffic where you want it to go, come up with cool ways to do things. You know, we've got some answers, but my goodness, you guys are incredibly creative people. You're in a business that, you know, is important to be creative and to be good at. And you've got all the ability in the world to do that. We're delighted to help you get this done. And that's why we've got wonderful people like Jessica and Nick and our whole support team to, you know, make this all work for you. So it'll work out really, really well. And the last question I see someone ask is, how do we set up a time to discuss a new account? BA, if you would, just contact support@alltheleads.com or just call us up and we'll be happy to talk with you right then, man. And you can make a time if you want to do it later than that, that's fine. Just give us a buzz and we'll be happy to set you up. Jimmy, I'm going to hand it back to you and let's take us home today.
All right, another great call. Appreciate the participation. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to particularly thank Tim, Nick, Jessica, Alyssa, Bill, Steve, Joe, Bud, Shadi, Aline, and Bruce for actively participating. And I want to challenge each of you, as I always do, take one idea, one thing that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share your results. Have a great week, everybody. See you same time next Thursday. Take care.
Guys, we're going to leave this slide up for just a minute so you can continue to take a look at it. And if you need to make note of what's there, just leave it up for another 60 seconds before we shut the call off, Alyssa, if you would. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye and we'll leave the slide up, and then Alyssa, you can take it down when you're ready. Thanks everybody for being here.